Dear grade 11 students, hello and welcome to a new English lesson. Our lesson today is from Module 10b. A penny saved is a penny earned. Our lesson focuses on writing and advantages and disadvantages essay. Part 1. Kindly open your student's book, page 152, and let's get started. By the end of today's lesson, you will be able to communicate independently a personal response to real and fictional events. And the second objective is to recognize and identify independently typical features at word, sentence, and text levels of a wide range of text types. My dear students, let's start our lesson with this task. In this task, you are required to look at these pictures and guess the topic of discussion. Then, you are going to answer some questions related to these pictures. Pause the video and look at them carefully. Thank you. What is the topic of discussion? Excellent. The topic of discussion is about advertisements. My question for you, do advertisements affect you? Let's see and discuss the questions in the following slide. Okay, my dear students, let's discuss the following questions. Ready? Okay, let's start with the first question, and the first question is, where do you usually see such advertisements? The advertisements you saw in the previous slide, or any advertisement. Where do you usually see advertisements? Thank you. On the radio, on television, in the newspaper, in a magazine, or on the internet. Thank you so much. Let's move to the next question. Do you see a lot of advertisements in the course of the day? A lot. Thank you. Okay, yes, let's see this suggested answer. This is a suggested answer. Yes, I do. Advertisements are everywhere. I see them online, on TV, on posters, and billboards in the street. We are quite literally surrounded by them. Let's move to the next question, and I agree with this. How do consumers benefit from advertising? In what way is advertising beneficial for consumers? What do you think? Yes, let's see the suggested answer. Well, I think that the primary benefits for consumers is that they find out about available products and services. They find out about available products and services. So we can say that advertisements play a very important role in keeping consumers informed with the latest. Let's move to the next question. And the last question is, what is the main disadvantage? What is the main drawback? What is the main deficiency of advertising for consumer? What do you think? Or for consumers? What do you think? Yes, that's right. That's absolutely right. I agree with you. And let's see the suggested answer. The main disadvantage has got to be the fact that consumers are inundated. When I say inundated, means to receive much of something that you cannot control, right? So consumers are inundated with advertisements and infomercials on daily basis. This exposure never stops, never stops. In addition, advertisers are often use exaggeration and deceit to get consumers buy their products. So we have some disadvantages for consumers that are related to advertising. Let's move to the next task. My lovely students, gladly move to exercise B. In this exercise, you are required to read the prompt or the writing task. As you see, here is the writing task, and respond to a set of questions. After that, you are going to read the essay and do some activities related. You will be given 3 minutes to read this task and underline keywords and phrases. Start. Have you finished? Great. So let's read the prompt together or the writing task together and respond to the questions or discuss them. We are exposed daily to advertisements. What are we daily exposed to? Advertisements. Through what? Various forms of media like press, TV, radio, billboards, plays, internet, and etc. In what ways do people benefit as consumers from advertising? And we have the word benefit from or benefit as. And what are the drawbacks? The disadvantages, excellent. The drawbacks it has for them. For whom? For consumers. Support your views with examples, and you have to do that. Let's start with the first question. What are we exposed to? We are exposed to, excellent, advertisements. So the next question, this leads us to another question in order to get a clear idea. Where do these advertisements come from? What do you think? From excellent, various forms of media like press, TV, radio, billboards, displays, internet, etc. We have so many forms. Next. What is the topic of discussion? What is the core issue here? What do you think? Excellent, thank you. To discuss the advantages and disadvantages of advertising for consumers. So here we can understand that you are going to discuss both views. In what ways do people benefit as consumers from advertising? And the next thing is that what are the drawbacks it has for them, for consumers? Let's move to the last question, the benefits and the drawbacks of advertising for consumers. This is the topic of the discussion. And let's move to the last question. What are you required to do? As I told you, you are required to write an essay discussing the advantages and disadvantages, the benefits and drawbacks, the pros and cons of advertising on or advertising for consumers. Let's move to the next task. My dear students, now you will read the whole essay and do the activities that follow. You will be given 10 minutes to read the whole essay. Kindly pause the video, read the essay carefully, and try to do the activities that follow. Start. Have you read the essay? Thank you so much. So now let's respond or do these activities together and let's check your answers. Now, you are going to read the statements A to G and tell which paragraph the writer A discusses how advertising benefits consumers. What do you think? That's absolutely right. Excellent. Paragraph number 2. It talks about the benefits, the advantages. Next, let's move to the next one. In which paragraph the writer makes use of an example to explain a point? He used this in 2 paragraphs. What do you think? Yes, the writer uses this in paragraph number 2 and paragraph number 3. And if you look at the transitions, you will understand that he uses examples. Next, in which paragraph the writer introduces the topic of discussion? And this is very clear. It should be in the first paragraph. Thank you so much. Next, in which paragraph the writer discusses the disadvantages of advertising for consumers? And this is very clear. As I told you about the organization of this essay, we should have the introduction, the advantages, disadvantages, and the conclusion. So how many paragraphs? 4 paragraphs. So who can tell me now in which paragraph the writer discusses the disadvantages, the drawbacks, the cons of advertising for consumers? In paragraph number, who can tell? 3. Yes, right, thank you. In which paragraph the writer provides a balanced summary of the arguments, the 2 arguments, and he presents a balanced summary. You should do that, but carefully. What do you think? Yes, thank you so much. That's in the last paragraph, in the conclusion. Next, in which paragraph the writer gives a statement which outlines the specific purpose and form of the essay? You understand the statement? In which paragraph the writer gives a statement which outlines the specific purpose and form of the essay. What do you think? It's in the first paragraph. Thank you so much. The last one, in which paragraph the writer uses linking words, the transitions, to organize the arguments. He used examples, for example, for instance, in addition, furthermore. What do you think? Thank you so much. Paragraphs number 2, 3, and number 4. Thank you so much. Let's move to the next activity, and in the next activity you have to bring me an evidence on each statement. Let's go for that. Let's go. Okay, my dear students, now you will read the essay again and read the statements again. Find out the evidence for each statement in the essay. Underline the evidence for each statement in the essay. Please pause the video and start. Have you finished? Excellent. In which paragraph the writer discusses how advertising benefits consumers? We agreed that it's in paragraph 2. Okay, what is the first benefit? Excellent. Consumers become informed about the new products, so on and so forth. What is the second benefit or the second advantage? Excellent. After the transition, in addition, advertising allows consumers to take advantage of sales. What is the third one? Can you tell? So we have 3 advantages. The third one is excellent after the transition or the linking word moreover, and you can underline it and read it. Thank you so much. Let's move to the next statement. In which paragraph or paragraphs the writer makes use of an example to explain a point? That's very easy. Paragraphs 2 and 3. Have you found them out? Excellent. The first one, when the writer says, for example, communication, telecommunication companies, so on and so forth. And let's move to the next. In paragraph 3, the next example or the next evidence is that when the writer says, what does the writer use to state an evidence? The writer uses for instance. Excellent. Thank you so much. Let's move to the next statement. Let's move to statement C. In which paragraph the writer introduces the topic of discussion? And this is very clear in paragraph 1. And let's see the statement through which the writer discusses the main topic of discussion. He said the main means, advertising is the main means of communication, so on and so forth. Statement D. In which paragraph the writer discusses the disadvantages of advertising? Can you tell? Yes, paragraph 3. Excellent. So can you tell me where are the disadvantages? The first one, who can tell? Yes, the first one is clear here. Can be misleading. The second one, wow, the writer uses furthermore. Excellent. And this is to add another disadvantage. Advertisements make consumers feel pressured. And the last one, you can pause the video and read it. Children and young people are especially vulnerable to this. Next. Okay, so now in which paragraph the writer provides a balanced summary of the argument? That's very clear. In paragraph 4, thank you very much. The last paragraph, and let's see the last paragraph the writer uses to sum up, and then he sums up the topic in the light of that, and this the function of in the light of that to give a summary. Next, the writer gives a statement which outlines specific purpose and form the essay. This is very clear in paragraph. Who can tell? Yes, excellent, in paragraph 1. So the writer says here, look at this one. To develop a clear perspective on the issue, we must examine the advantages and disadvantages of advertisements for consumers. Thank you so much, my dear students. Let's move to the next one. In which paragraph or paragraphs the writer uses linking words to organize the arguments? So the function of the use of linking words is to organize the arguments in paragraphs 2, 3, and 4. So have you found the evidence? Have you underlined them? Let's see. This is very clear. The first one is, on the one hand, start with the first issue, for example, or the first argument. In addition, for example, to give an example, in addition to add a point, moreover, you can see in paragraph 3, on the other hand, for instance, furthermore. Let's move to the next slide, or the last paragraph, the writer uses to sum up, while also in the light of that. Thank you so much. Let's move to the last activity. Okay, my dear students, let's do the last activity of today's lesson, and you will respond to questions 2, 3, and 4. Kindly pause the video and discuss these questions. Have you finished? Okay, let's start with question number 2. Has the writer done what he or she requested to do? What makes you say so? What do you think? I think yes, because the writer organized the text or clearly presents the advantages and disadvantages of advertising for consumers. That's very clear. Okay, let's move to the next question. How is the outline of the essay different from the one on page 148? Kindly pause the video again and go to page 148 and read the essay on page 148. You can see a difference between the outline or the organization of this essay, the outline, and the outline on that on page 148. In this essay, the writer uses or focuses on the advantages in one paragraph, then the disadvantages in the next paragraph, while in the essay, page 148, the writer gives or presents one advantage and then a disadvantage, contrasting or juxtapose a disadvantage in each paragraph. So this is called it's like a chain. Next, what style is the text? What do you think? What are the characteristics of this writing style? Is it formal? Yes, it's formal, subject oriented, impartial, and formative. Thank you so much. Dear students, thank you for watching the video. Wish you a good luck.